Welcome to 5G Benchmark. Today, we're taking a look at a very interesting device, the Cudy P5. It's truly the jack of all trades when it comes to 5G routers. This one packs a lot of unique features. 4 external antenna connectors, dual SIM slots, and a ton of advanced routing options that go far beyond what most indoor routers offer. There will be also interesting announcement. This unit was kindly provided by satshop.fi, the candy store for mobile network enthusiasts. They have routers from brands like ZTE, Huawei, and many more. They are also a retailer that ships all devices and equipment internationally. You'll find a link to this router down below in the video description. But before jumping back into the review, something very cool. We've just launched the brand new 5G Benchmark Discord server. It's a place where you can chat with other mobile network enthusiasts, share your test results, router setups, or even troubleshoot tricky signal issues together. Now, it's easier than ever to get help, because on Discord you can post screenshots, logs, and all kinds of things that just aren't possible on YouTube comments. Just make sure to accept the rules by reacting with a thumbs up, and after that all the chat channels will open automatically. I'm really excited to see you there. So come join the community. The invite link is down below and in video description. The Cudy P5 brings a surprising amount of technology to the table, especially for this price range. It's powered by the Qualcomm Snapdragon X62 modem, well known from many high-end routers we've already tested. This platform supports 3GPP5G Release 16 and includes a wide set of networking, security, and management features. One of the most unique aspects of the P5 is its antenna design. It actually comes with 4 detachable external antennas, something you rarely see anymore. Most indoor routers today include only 2 connectors, and even those often work only with high-band 3.5 GHz signals. Here, Cudy supports external antennas across the entire 4G and 5G frequency range, from low bands all the way up to high band 5G. The connectors themselves use the sturdier SMA type instead of the smaller TS9 plugs. That makes them more durable and easier to use with professional outdoor antennas. Another highlight is the dual SIM capability. You can insert 2 nano SIM cards, switch between operators, or use one as a backup connection. It's a great feature for anyone relying on mobile data for remote work or rural setups. In terms of wired connectivity, the P5 includes 4 gigabit Ethernet ports. Sure, they're limited to 1 gigabit each, but that's still more than enough for most home or office use. What really stands out is the routing software. You'll find queue management, VLAN and port forwarding controls, VPN server and client options, parental controls, and even full Cudy Mesh support for expanding your network. Let's take a look at what comes inside the Cudy P5 box. Everything is neatly organized right out of the package. First, we have the main unit itself. The front has a clean, minimalist design, while on the bottom you'll find the wall mounting holes. On the back panel are the dual SIM slots, along with the 4 SMA antenna connectors we mentioned earlier. There are the Ethernet ports, the WPS setup button, the reset switch, and the power connector. Next, the power adapter. This one is rated at 30 watts, a bit more powerful than the adapters that usually come with ZTE or Huawei routers. Inside the box, you'll also find an Ethernet cable, a product information sheet, and the usual documentation. And finally, the external antennas. These are the ones included with the router. They're about 4 decibels each, which is perfectly fine for indoor use. Though most of the users will likely connect higher gain outdoor antennas. Now, let's power up the device and see what it can do. Next, let's take a look at the admin settings and all the features this router has, and there are a lot. We start with the quick start section. Here you can set up the mobile connection and basic wireless settings to get things running quickly without going through every detail. It's perfect if you just want to get online fast. We move on to the mesh settings. The P5 can connect with other Cudy mesh devices to create a seamless wireless network across your home or office. From here, you can manage and control the mesh network directly. Pairing, status, and backhaul settings are all handled in this menu. You can also check which devices are currently connected to the access point or router and view their status. Then we get to the mobile network settings. This page shows all the key information about the mobile connection, such as base station ID, used bandwidth, and signal values like RSRP and SINR. You can also see your current traffic, data usage, and active connection mode. From here, it's possible to select which SIM slot to use, choose between 4G LTE, 5G NSA or SA modes, and even lock the router to specific frequency bands for both 4G and 5G. There's also the ability to send SMS messages and set data usage limits if needed. Advanced users can send AT commands directly to the modem, which means you can perform cell locking manually through the web interface. And if something goes wrong or the modem becomes unresponsive, there's a one-click option to reset the modem back to factory settings. We continue with the local area network settings. Here you can see the current IP information and adjust the local address. The wireless settings section allows you to configure the 2.4 GHz and 5 GHz bands, enable or disable them individually, and fine-tune the channels or SSID names. We have the DHCP server settings. Here you can view all the active leases, adjust the address range, and define the IP pool used by the router's DHCP. There's also a status section showing traffic statistics, ARP data, active routes, and a very comprehensive system log. It's far more detailed than what you usually find on Huawei or ZTE devices, so advanced users will definitely appreciate that. We then move to the advanced settings area. Now this part can feel a bit confusing at first, since the interface has multiple paths leading to some of the same menus. The first two options here are duplicates of pages we already saw earlier. Next comes one of the most important features, the VPN settings. The P5 supports a wide range of protocols, including WireGuard, OpenVPN, IPsec, L2TP, PPTP, and even zero-tier. So very complete support overall, both for VPN server and client configurations. Then we have the firmware update options. You can update automatically online or upload a local firmware file manually. The parental control section is also quite comprehensive. You can set schedules and time limits, create access lists, and even pause internet access for specific devices. It also allows web filtering, something many routers still don't offer. There's also the option to configure one of the ports as either WAN or LAN, depending on how you plan to use the router. That's handy if you want to connect a wired broadband line instead of mobile data. More wireless options follow next, including the guest network setup, additional DHCP parameters, and IPv6 configuration with several protocol modes available. Then we reach IGMP settings, which let you control how the router handles multicast traffic, useful if you're using IPTV or similar services. After that, the QoS settings. This is an important one, especially if you care about latency or gaming performance. It allows you to adjust bandwidth limits and manage buffer bloat, which can make a huge difference in real-world responsiveness. The DNS settings are also well thought out, including support for secure DNS over TLS, dynamic DNS, and multiple DNS providers. That's great if you want to link your home server to a host name and keep it accessible from the internet. Static routing is available too, so you can manually add routes between networks when needed. And finally, port forwarding, with a simple interface to open specific ports or services for external access. Let's continue our long journey through the settings. Next, we have the port triggering feature. This allows automatic opening of specific ports when needed by certain applications, a useful option for things like gaming consoles or remote services. Then comes the demilitarized zone setting. It's a common feature on most routers, allowing you to expose a specific device directly to the internet if needed. The next section handles online detection and TTL control, where you can define whether the device is reachable from outside and adjust the time to leave value for packets. A small but handy setting for advanced users who like to fine-tune network behavior. There's also Wake on LAN, universal plug and play, and automatic redirection support for gaming devices. The security features. There's the SPI firewall, stateful packet inspection. It monitors incoming and outgoing traffic in real time, blocking any suspicious connections automatically. The router offers several filtering options: MAC address filtering, IP filtering, and domain filtering. Together, these allow you to create very specific access rules for devices and websites. You can also bind IP and MAC addresses to ensure static addresses within your network. There's even a physical button on the device itself, which can toggle WPS if needed. Then we have Wi-Fi scheduling, where you can automatically power the wireless network on or off at certain times. For protocol level configuration, there's an application layer gateway section where you can adjust how the router handles protocols like SIP, FTP, and others. System management continues with time and NTP settings, another firmware update page, and full backup and restore functionality for saving your configuration. After you configure a device like this, you definitely want to take backup. Under admin settings, you can enable remote management, though this should be used only in special cases for security reasons. Here you can also change the administrator password and select from a very long list of supported languages. You can even schedule automatic reboots. Though in testing, the P5 has been extremely stable. I haven't needed a single reboot. Finally, there's a simple option to reset the router to factory defaults, toggle the LED indicators on or off, and enable TR069 remote management if your ISP requires it. And that's it. A very wide variety of settings, some of them surprisingly advanced, giving you full control over almost every aspect of the device. Overall, a very impressive set of tools for a router in this class. One last example of what the AT command interface can do. There are many documents available online that list all the possible AT commands. With this particular command, we can easily view signal information directly from the modem. We're using the same test setup as before. Mid-band LTE frequencies combined with low-band 5G frequencies. The distance to the base station is around 1.5 kilometers, and since some forestry work has been done recently, the area is now a bit more open. We used the supplied indoor antennas for signal analysis, and even with those, the signal values were at a good level. Not quite as strong as with outdoor routers, but still very decent results considering the setup. One thing worth mentioning is that, due to the modem's firmware design, the 5G signal values are not visible unless we're running in SA mode. So in non-standalone operation, we only get readings for the 4G frequencies. Interestingly, the MikroTik ATL5GR16 with similar modem has the same limitation. It can also display only the LTE signal parameters in NSA mode. Let's move on to the speed tests. First, we start with the LTE test. The distance to the base station is about 1.5 kilometers, and the result ends up around 450 megabits down and almost 80 up. A very good result considering we're using only the indoor antennas at this point. Next, we switch to 5G NSA mode using higher frequency bands. Here, the download speed climbs close to 800 megabits per second, with upload reaching around 90 megabits per second. Then we repeat the same test with the second operator. The results are almost identical, although the upload speed drops slightly, down to about 50 megabits per second. I looked into this a bit more closely, and I'll come back to that later in the analysis. Finally, we move to the 5GSA test, where we're getting roughly 800 megabits down and 200 up. So overall, the SA performance is quite good. And of course, we have to remember, this router only has gigabit Ethernet. So that becomes the limiting factor for any speed results above 1 gigabit. Let's continue with the latency tests. And first, the buffer bloat test. On this one, the Cudy performs surprisingly well. Even without any QoS limitations, it reaches a grade C in the buffer bloat test. Then, after applying some limits, 200 megabits down and 100 megabits up, the results improve dramatically. We're already getting a grade A without needing any further restrictions or tuning. A really solid result for a router in this price range. And last but not least, the gaming tests. Here, the Cudy P5 performs very consistently when it comes to latency. Across all runs, the delay remained steady and predictable. No sudden spikes or lag during gameplay. We tested with Counter-Strike 2 and Valorant, and the results were excellent on both. What's also impressive is the jitter performance. Both download and upload directions stayed extremely stable. There were no big swings or packet delay variations, so aiming and hit registration felt smooth and reliable throughout the tests. This kind of stability is something you don't often see on mid-range routers, especially those relying entirely on mobile connections. The P5 clearly benefits from its efficient QoS and overall network handling. All in all, it's a great choice for gaming.
One enemy remaining.
Cudy P5 brings together a really strong feature set. Wi-Fi 6 connectivity, full VPN and Mesh support, 4 SMA antenna connectors, and dual SIM flexibility all in one compact design. Thanks to those external antenna options, it adapts easily to multi-operator setups and rural environments where stronger signal is essential. During testing, latency and jitter performance were excellent. Smooth response times, no major spikes, and very consistent results overall. There were, however, some occasional upload slowdowns in NSA mode, and the exact cause of that remained unclear. Still, the P5 proved to be a well-rounded and feature-packed router that combines solid performance with advanced routing tools, easily one of the most capable indoor 5G routers in its class. That's it for this review of the Cudy P5. If you found it helpful, remember to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next video. Because up next, we'll be testing how this router performs with external antennas and taking a closer look at its Wi-Fi performance. Also, don't forget to join the brand new 5G Benchmark Discord server. It's the best place to share your own test results, ask questions, and chat with other mobile network enthusiasts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.